Okie dokie, let's go jump some rank games with the Reaper and see what we can do today. So we do start off with a hammer and a piggy bank. With the relic case, we could go for a hammer dagger action, especially with the deck of cards because it does give us some accuracy. But when we pass up hammer dagger or hammer piggy bank round 1, it's crazy. We also want to put our little chipped ruby inside our hammers. We get a little bit of lifesteal. We take this too. And do we save 1 gold or do we try to roll? I think we save 1 gold. We move on. This is going to be round 1. It should be pretty decent because we have increased our accuracy on our hammer up to 85%. And the longer the fight goes on, the less stamina this hammer is going to use. Now we still ended up with a miss with an 85% chance to hit, which might actually make us lose this round. Potentially, because we do have a stamina proc, we need 1 more hit right now. And awesome. Definitely awesome. And we could take a mage's badge. This would give us mana. We could end up going for spectral daggers. We could just end up going for a cupcake staff into heat stacking, which I'm going to be down for. We solve this, we grab ourselves a fanny pack. We take the stone, we roll again. And we could take a spell skull regrow. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it because that will keep our hammer hidden, which is kind of perfect. I'm going to grab even more storage, which is maybe potentially a bit crazy. But I'm going to waste 1 more gold rolling. And we're just going to take this lump of coal on sale. We do also want to hold the wooden broom because, again, we do want to go for that cupcake staff. But we are speeding up our hammer. We should be able to use the mana we do get from our magic badge to help with our stamina on our hammer, which should be pretty good. Because now on that 4th hits, we're not going to out stamina proc. Meaning that I was going to say we're going to win this one. However, that miss actually made us lose. Super unfortunate. It is what it is. Now, if we want to go full on hammer smashing, we could take Fortuna's Kiss. This would give us more chances to stun. We could also look for potions, take heavy drinking. I do like it super early on. Mana potion could be kind of nice in that regards. Mushroom farm, really great if we do have ourselves mushrooms. The problem is we dilute the pool crazily with deck cards and a magic badge, so this is not going to be so great. I think we actually gamble. We gamble to see what we get. Heart of the cards. Okay, we got to switch up our build completely. That's going to be madness. I mean, we're going to have to take a bunch of cards. Let's take you 2. Let's roll. Let's go grab our storage. And we could actually go for 1s with the heart of the cards because once we get 10 regen, we're going to start stacking up in power, which I do like quite a bit. So I'm going to sell these to actually take ourselves more regen as well. Do we want to stick with the hammer or do we want to put in our wooden sword? Also, this is going to duplicate the mana we do get from our heart of the cards. We do got to take our wand in the next rounds. We probably should have sold our little gemstones to actually take it. That would be clever. But once you do activate this, we're going to get regen. We got 7 regen, which is madness by itself. And we got lots and lots of ability right now. Now, honestly, it's been such a crazy long time since I actually played Heart of the Cards. But it's not looking too bad. Let's take our wands. Let's roll again. We got to take as much cards as possible. Let's take a fanny pack. Let's keep rolling. And let's get moving once again. Now, we could have actually taken that extra spell skull grow. I am speeding this hammer up like crazy. But I think we should be in a pretty good spot because with 2 activations of a card, we get 10 regen. So our 1 should be able to give us 1 bit of empower. And it's not looking too bad. Although our opponent does have lots of heals with slime tiny little gooblings. And our hammer is going to have to put in a lot of work. We should have pretty decent accuracy on it, even though our opponent is inflicting some blind, since we do have 4 luck as well. The problem is, our wand isn't going to be stacking up any more regen, which means no more empowerment, because it does have to stack up our mana, as well as our luck. But this is actually going to be a super long fight. Our opponent does have actually way too much healing, as well as way too much max life stacking. So unfortunately, yeah, we do end up falling short. Now, do we take ourselves a dagger, or do we just get rid of our hammer right now? Because I don't really want to be playing hammer dagger action for too long. But it could be kind of nice if we do get tons and tons of power. Let's take it for now. Let's take another fanny pack. Let's roll. We really do want to take another set of cards. Mana Orb is also pretty good. More regen. We're going to have to take, I think, as well. Actually, we don't really need the regen since this is going to give us regen as well. So I think we should move on. We should be able to get a lot more power stacked up. I'd love to grab more ones. And we'll see now. Opponent has a crazy offering ball. And it looks like they're going to be offering up all these, which is madness because Lifesteal is insane. However, we've got tons and tons and tons of regen right now, which means our wand is just going to be stacking up our power, increasing our damage on our dagger, as well as our hammer. So if we do manage to get a big stun, we deal decent damage as well. So it's kind of awesome. Let's grab this. Lifesteal. It's nice. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to go for full-on block. We roll again. Do we want more Lover's Card? Also, getting all fanny packs is really, really flipping bad. It's really, really bad. We need more storage. I don't think we can take this Lover's Card. We can take an Ace of Spades. We can take a Wands. We can take another Dagger. Are we straight up going Daggers is the question. Hammer Daggers. Ace of Spades will give us quite a bit as well. Because we could try to get a big mana buff bomb from our heart of cards. Which means we can lamp. I think we take these items, we move on. We really do want to grab this because it is going to give us some luck. It's going to give us spikes. And yeah, it should be pretty good. We replace this Lover's Card because it doesn't really do a whole lot for us in this spot. Our opponent has inflicted crazy cold on us with Snow Sticks, which is super problematic because it does take us way too long to get our power stacked up with our wands. However, we're dealing some big damage. They do have a Hellbot, they do have a Shelly, so they could end up out healing us. However, we got tons of regen that we're slowly getting rid of for damage. And awesome. That was just one big smack to win out. Now we could take the reverse card to reflect 3 debuffs, steal 3 buffs. It's kind of nice. This is going to give us a guaranteed crit. I'm going to take this. We're going to take our dagger. We're going to take our wands. I'm going to roll to try and find some storage. Oh, come on, man. Fanny pack after fanny pack. It's literally impossible when our storage is just all fanny pack. I think we sell our Lover's Card because we're going to need to take this fanny pack. Because adding in our extra dagger is going to be super high value. We could take our Lifesteal so we could place in an extra wand so we get our power a little bit faster. Which I'm down for. Lifesteal though gives us a small bit of strikeability, which is kind of what we've been relying on. But we'll see. We got 10 regen, we got a big crit. We got more accuracy, which means our hammer should have 100%. So it's going to be that 45% chance whether it's going to stun or not. We should be able to get tons of power stacked up a little bit faster. And yeah, it's looking a lot better. That's for sure. We got 8 in power. Our opponent is slowing us down to a snail's pace though. That's massive damage coming from our hammer dagger action. And can we win out? Hell yeah we can. Not too bad. And we could take the cursed dagger. It is technically a dagger. It would be really, really nice with our hammer. We will be inflicting debuffs, but we're not going to be going too much into debuffs. Now what we could actually take is the Vampiric, so we get lifesteal on our daggers. I'm going to take it, as crazy as that sounds. We're going to take her on Stable Recombobulator. We're going to roll. We're going to take this bloody amulet. And we're going to craft up. Freaking a bloody dagger. Which means we're going all in on daggers. We're going to sell that. Let's go ahead and craft this up. Unstable Recombobulator. We could get rid of our amulet. I kind of want to keep it though. I kind of just want to let this recombobulate. Because I really want to keep everything else. Card on Silver 2 is going to be hard not to take. But let's get going. We should be able to get lifesteal. We should be able to stack up our power. We should be in a pretty good spot. Overall, we start off with 8 Vampiress, which is nuts by the way. We got tons and tons of buffs. Our hammer dagger action is going to be dealing lots of damage, except our opponent is going to be stealing our buffs as well. But can we win out? Because the heart of the cards is actually putting in a lot of work for us. Except them stealing our buffs is also putting in a lot of work, because we got no more power, which means our daggers are going to be doing not a whole lot of damage, which is not going to be so great. So yeah, we do end up falling short. Buff stealing, really, really bad for us. And we did finally manage to get some storage with another card, which is awesome. Let's grab our Lover's card, Eye Lamp. Kind of nice, but I'm not going to be taking it. Thornbloom, stacking max life with our power gains. Actually incredible. Because we could switch from hammer dagger actions right now for that. I don't think we take it. Now, another Vampiric dagger is going to be amazing. Heat stacking, more storage, also pretty darn sweet. We sell our blueberries to take this and craft up another dagger. But I'm going to have to sort the inventory out, so I'll be back in a second while I do that. Now I think we're in a pretty good position in this because we're going to get our lifesteal, we're going to have Vampiric Dagger, we're going to have second ones, we should have tons of lifesteal. It should be able to give us time to stack up our power. Now we definitely want to take our Hollow Fire Lizard, replace it with this Lover's card, and we should be in a fantastic spot hopefully from here. Except that is a Dancing Dragon with lots of damage. We're after doing half their HP in one hit. So as long as we have Vampirism, as long as we get our power stacked up, we should be in an awesome spot. Now, I'd love to grab more wands. A Prismatic Wand will go a long way. That's for sure. Now we do got a couple of options right now. I'm very, very tempted to take Mana Mastery, since we're going to try to go for big mana buff bomb. So it could be kind of incredible. We do manage to get Blood Manipulation, which is really, really awesome as well though, because we can actually turn whatever healing into damage. I think we gotta take Mana Mastery, Blood Manipulation. Heart Container is going to give us a ton of max life as well as Empower. That's tough to pass up on. The problem is, it will use up our regen. So I'm not going to take it, not right not right now. I'm going to take this bit of storage so we can add in more cards. Do we want to take ourselves this Ice Flower? We could try to go for a Devouring Spear. It would stack up our Vampirism as well. It is on sale, so you know what, I might grab it. Now I did change set rounds. We can't really put our Lover's card in. Super unfortunate, but it is what it is. We should be able to get quite a bit of damage hopefully from all this. I'm going to sell this little gemstone so we can take this ice block. And it's not really going to do a whole lot for us. Not right now at least. But I'm going to hold on to it just in case we grab ourselves that Dark Skull Frenzy. Or even a freaking Mirror too. But let's move on. We should be able to get our power stacked up. We should be able to deal more damage. 15% of our healing dealt us damage. We're after doing almost half their HP. So yeah, it's looking kind of incredible. Now Mana Mastery would give us crazy buffs as well. But I do like this setup really, really awesomely. And smashing. Now, do you want to go for that mirror? We literally got it this round. Because the mirror will give us quite a bit of buffs after 6 seconds. We want to go fast though, which is the real thing. You know what? I'm going to take it because it does reflect debuffs, which we kind of suffer with. We roll again. We could take Invulnerability. We could take the Eyes of White is Blue Dragon. You know, I'm going to sell a Lover's card to take it. Because we're not going to be able to activate every single card. Because we just won't have enough time in a battle to activate every single card. Which is one of the reasons why I did want to take Nocturnal Locklifter as well, because it does give us some survivability. Unless your opponent does have lots of heal reduction. But I think we're in a pretty good spot to win out. We got lots of Vampirism, we got lots of buffs. We are going to be getting a double axe with lots of damage and some healing, or damage reduction I was going to say. But yeah, it's not looking close whatsoever. And awesome. And we got a Cold Mirror. Should we take ourselves a lamp? Should we take a Cat Spirit Companion? The problem with the Cat Spirit Companion, it would give us crits. It's just in our setup the way it is right now, we won't be able to actually play it in. I think we hold off on the lamp. I think we grab more freaking storage and we roll again. Another Hollow Fire Lizard I'm going to grab for now as well. I think we constantly roll. We could take a Toad. Not sure if we do want the Toad. It will stack up our luck and our mana as well, but I don't think we necessarily need that too much. It is on sale, maybe we do grab it. We have a target our heart of the cards because this is going to give us a ton of mana, ton of buffs. So this is going to be kind of nice. We could put our Ace of Spades later on. We could put our Ace of Spades in, get our block at the very ends, and we get a big crit towards the end. When a Hollow Fire Lizard stacks up our heat, increasing the speed on our weapon situation, I think that's going to be pretty decent. However, we are facing a heat stacking build, so we'll see how we get on with this, because they're going to get big massive damage if they manage to get a 60 heat. However, after dealing damage, we heal back up, and we answer back with our own damage. We got so much regen that a Prismatic Wand is going to go crazy in our build. If we manage to find ourselves a Prismatic Orb. However, that is Jimbo. Since we do have 3 of a kind, our weapons are going to use less stamina. Which is kind of good, but also kind of bad, because we want to use more stamina to get our Spell Scholar go, but if we want to use less stamina, I think we kind of want to take it because it is going to give 6 random buffs. We're going to roll. We could take a cupcake, and we're going to have to take ourselves another bloody amulet. I do want to grab the stamina sack so we can add in our card once again. And we could actually add in a ruby chunk to stun our opponents. I think a ruby chunk is going to be a nice addition to our build. Definitely so. The problem is we're going to need a stack of way more heats. We are going to begin a heat stack in a cupcake staff. With water elementals, they're going to be trying to inflict a bunch of cold on us. So we'll see how we get on with this. So we're stacking up a regen, we're getting our power stacked up. It's very, very slow though to activate both our ones to start stacking up our power. But it's still not looking too bad. Definitely so. Even with 22 cold on us, can we win out? It's not looking close whatsoever, and hell yeah, we got so much buffs. It's kind of nice. In terms of DPS, we managed to get about a 40 DPS, which is not too crazy by any means. In terms of heals, we managed to get about 62 healing per second, which is pretty decent. In terms of max health gain, we managed to get 8. And in terms of block, about 30 block, which is not too crazy by any means. I do believe we can actually make this way better, so we're going to move on. Speaking of better, that's a freaking mana orb. That's a freaking mana orb. We're going to take our storage, we're going to take our ruby egg. We're going to sell this card, and we're going to take this mana orb. And we're going to slot it down in this position for now. Although we could place it up top. I know it's only going to be targeting our dagger along with our wands, except we could get a little bit more mana from it. Our magic badge. Because our weapon situation is kind of locked in this spot. I think we move on with this. So we do need to generate up quite a bit of mana from our heart of the cards to get a big mana buff ball. But once we get a prismatic wand in, we should be able to use up our regen to get empower our mana. Now it does take us forever to get our mana stacked up, but that's gonna be okay because we do have enough time with our healing to actually win out. Now honestly, we're not getting our mana stacked up, which is kind of funny. And we are taking on a turtle with lots and lots of shields to block our damage, with lots and lots of block. However, the longer the fight goes on, the better it is going to be for us, because we get crazy starting power and smashing. Again, we want more heats. We want all the heats that we can grab. Let's take a set of blueberries. Let's roll again. That's a prismatic orb. We have to take that. And I'm going to take this fanny pack, speeding up our hammer as much as possible. Now, I did move our bloody amulet down just a small bit, but I did do it so we can have an extra card in. Prismatic Wand is going to go a large way. It's going to stack up our power even more. It's going to be too crazy not to take. And we are taking on quite a bit of healing reduction, 30% healing reduction, so we could be in trouble going up against opponents. They do also have the Excalibur, they're going to have some vulnerability, which means if they get invulnerability, we're not going to be able to lifesteal. Now they're going to be going super fast with the Excalibur, which could be kind of scary. But we'll see. They are nullifying a lot of our buffs with the helmet as well, which is problematic. It does take us forever to get 4 in power stacked up, which is kind of crazy. Their weapon damage is not going to be as high, they got crazy heat, so this opponent actually could win out because just how much nullifying of buffs they're managing to get. Almost 40% of our buffs is gone, which is mad. However, we are putting up a good fight. 30 seconds in, every hit heals us back to full. So, are we going to be able to win out? Because that's 300 heats, that's crazy in power on our opponent's side as well. They're stacking up max life, which is going to be the problem. Definitely so, because they have the advantage if they're stacking up max life. So we do end up falling short. It is what it is. We got a ruby bulb, so we can place this back in. And we're going to be taking this and crafting up pretty much 1 prismatic wand. We're going to be taking a hollow fire lizard, and we're going to be crafting up straight up into a ruby chunk. Let's roll once more. We probably need to grab a stamina sack, and let's get moving. So I know this card is not going to be attached, but we're going to just be crafting up the ruby chunk. We'll be able to fit it in anyway. Prismatic orb actually could be placed a lot better. Yeah, if we place it right here, that would be actually way better for us, because we would get more vampirism, just moving a little bit too fast. But at least with a prismatic orb in, we should be able to stack up even more buffs, which should be even more awesomeness. That's for sure. We got lots and lots of power right now. And can we win out? Because our opponents is applying a lot of cold to us, but definitely looking like it's going to be in our favor. However, I could be eating words. Definitely not. Win a fight with a card chain of at least 8 length is what we got. We got a big old chain going. And we got a ruby chunk, and we do need to put a lifesteal on it, so we kind of need to move our setup around again. We probably should have done that in the first place. Now I'm looking at this Hollow Fire Lizard because we need 12 heat to start stun our opponents with a ruby chunk. So we could make a huge pivot in our chain, get our heat stacked up. We would lose a lot of our lowest card and a lot of our regen. But it still should be okay. We're going to take this, apply that in. Because with these 4 cards, we're going to get enough heat so our ruby chunk does stun our opponent right off the rip. Let's take our stamina sack. Let's roll again. And we probably want to take our Bloody Amulet, and that is our Dark Frenzy, which we could craft up a Dark Lotus. It is going to be kind of nice. It uses up our luck though to give us stamina, which could be kind of scary, but it is going to give us a bunch of mana. So we can get our big mana buff bomb. Should we take it? We would have to lose a card chain for it to use him. I'm going to be down for him. Maybe it's worse, maybe it's better. I'm definitely going to be down for him. We'll see how it goes. But let's move on. Let's go ahead and definitely craft up our Bloody Amulet. We should be able to get tons and tons of lifesteal from this situation. We should be able to generate up crazy absurd and power from Prismatic Wand. And I definitely didn't expect to play a Hammer Dagger lifestealing with the hardest cards. But can we beat this mage? Because they're dealing lots of damage, and hell yeah, just in time to win out. Which is not too bad. And we got our Dark Lotus, which is going to be smashing. I was kind of hoping for a fanny pack. Since we can't be too choosy, we're going to take this for now as well. Should we take another Hollow Fire Lizard? It's a lot of heats. We just take this storage for another. We can actually, you know what, we can take this. And just speed up our card chain significantly. And we probably actually want our Jimbo to be pretty much at the 4 of a kind. Because for each 4 of a kind, it's going to activate 2 random revealed cards, except Jimbo. So I'm hoping that just gives us more heat off the rip. We place you in. We kind of need a regen, but our toad is also pretty darn sweet too. We might lose 1 in our card chain. We sell it. We roll again. That's another Hollow Fire Lizard. How much heat can we get? We sell this to grab a bit of storage. And I don't think we can really afford this Hollow Fire Lizard. What we can take is a set of blueberries, which I am down for, because that is going to be stacking up some luck for us, as well as some mana. Now, honestly, did not expect to be playing a Hammer Dagger Heart of the Cards type builds. With a Prismatic Wand, but I should really bring this whole thing together. Especially with Nocturnal Locklifter. Honestly, haven't really played Hammer Dagger Lifesteal before. Now, is this really going to be good enough? We'll have to see. Is the final rounds, can we win out? Because we are going to begin a blind stacking, heat stacking type build. There's a lot of blind on us. Again, we're going to be using up our luck with our Daedalus, which is problematic. But can we stack up our heat fast enough? Because they're going to be removing some of our buffs, which again, buff removal is pretty bad for us. That's 27 blind on us. We could actually lose out because of that blind. Because if we don't hit, we don't lifesteal. But if a ruby chunk does hit, our hammer hits, we stun our opponents. But that's some big old misses. That's 47 blind. 37 actually. What I'm saying? But we do need our big mana bomb to give us our luck. And unfortunately, with that much blind on us, we're going to have 0% accuracy. And unfortunately, we're going to end up losing out because of that. So, 1 build, we do get countered by significantly. Heat stack and blind. Which is really, really sad because I did really want to see this build shine. Because our DPS did drop down to pretty much non-existent because we never really hit our opponents. And if we can't hit our opponents, we can't lifesteal, so our heals is going to be really low as well. We still managed to get 30 healing per second, which just shows how much healing we're going to get. In terms of max life, we only managed to get 40, and in terms of block, we managed to get very, very little. With 22 in power, quite a bit of heats, with a ruby chunk stunning with our hammer, this had the potential to be awesome. However, we did survive with 2 lives left. Let's go to see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 10. Not too bad. But yeah, I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching, and I hope you keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back in some round 18 fights, and we have to do our build justice. The face that cold stacking build, or that blind stacking build, was pretty darn rough for our build. Now, can we take on this magic torch, freaking crit with staff? They're going to have crazy absurd max life. They're going to have crazy stacking damage. But we got crazy lifesteal and crazy damage as well, so hell yeah. Not too bad. Now can we deal with a cold stack in Flame Up Adventure? Potentially they're going to get lots of damage, they're going to be lamping their Flame Up. Well, more than likely it's going to stack up their heat form. Well, we got tons of heat. We actually have faster heat than our opponent, which is kind of madness. And smashing. Now, this is looking a bit scary because we are going to begin a staff fire that's going to be trying to lamp. They got crazy healing reduction on us, which is super problematic. However, can we burst them down with our power gains from our prismatic ones, as well as our big mana buff bomb? It depends, because they do get invulnerability, stopping or healing, but hell yeah, that's some big damage and awesome.